Welcome back to another algebra practice. In this video, we're going to complete two tasks. Task 1. Is it linear function or quadratic or exponential? Let us use our previous method. The method we talked about a long time ago. When we first saw this quadratic table, we say, when we look at the table, we notice something called symmetry. You see, this is actually axis of symmetry. On the left side, you have y is 0.5 and y is 0.5 on the right side. Left side, you have y is 2 and right side, you have y is 2. So this already gives you the idea it is a quadratic because the graph of quadratic is a letter U and it has an axis of symmetry. If we fold this, our graph is going to be totally fold alongside the axis of symmetry. I have a yellow one. I have a green one. I have two different type of graphs here. They are quadratic. What if we use the previously learned method is to check, does it have a first difference is the same? Does it have the same ratio? Does it have the second difference the same? We're going to check that. Okay, before we do that, we need to look at the increments of successive x values. And -2 to -1, add 1. -1 to 0, add 1. 0 to 1, add 1. 1 to 2, add 1. Check, check. This is good. Now, since we already determined earlier about looking at its table, it's quadratic, so we don't have to go through the steps to check the first difference to determine it is linear, but we do need the first difference so that we can do second difference. I hope it makes sense to you. All right, now we're going to check the first difference, okay? And then go again, 0 minus 0.5. So you did this to here, and 0.5 minus 0. And then last one, 2 minus 0.5. As you can see, we won't have the same difference, but that's okay. We need it. 0.5 minus 2 gives us negative 1.5. 0 minus 0.5 gives us negative 0.5. And then 0.5 minus 0, 0.5. 2 minus 0.5, positive 1.5. Remember, if it's linear, at this stage, you already see they have the same difference. They don't have the same difference. Definitely not linear. So the first difference is done. We're going to write down the word, first difference. Then we're going to calculate the second difference. The second difference, we're going to do 0.5 minus 1.5. Okay? And then 0.5 minus 0.5. Again, 1.5 minus 0.5. Consistently, each one gives us 1. Now, as you noticed, our second difference is the same. Therefore, once again, we say this is a quadratic function. Either by looking at the table, there's a beautiful symmetry here, or by calculating, we confirmed 2 times it is a quadratic function because the second differences are equal. Now, let us do our second job, that is, we're Our second task for this video is to write a function rule. Since we determined it is a quadratic, and we're going to use the quadratic form, we're going to use what we discovered earlier. Second difference is equal. This second difference is 1. So let us write our quadratic form. Y equals ax squared. I hope you still remember this is your quadratic parent function. That's right. All the other forms, all the other different looks are transformations from this parent function, such as, really quick review here. You still remember vertical stretch, vertical shrink? And do you still remember vertical translation? Do you still remember reflection over x-axis? If you don't, please use the previous video to review it. Okay? Now come back to here, and we wrote down a parent function. After we wrote down the parent function, we can immediately use a point. When I say we can immediately use a point, I meant this. Did you see you actually have 5 points here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To save your time, I will just pick 3. So we have -2, and this is 2, and you have -1, and your y is 0.5. You also have 2, and y is 2. Okay, you have these points you can use. How do I use it? Remember, this is x coordinate, this is y coordinate. Okay, x is blue and y is yellow. You don't know what A is, but you have all these points you can use. So you pick, you have 3 choices here. You pick any one you want, substitute. I'm going to try when x is -1 and y will be 0.5. Find out what is A, okay? X is -1. I'm going to use the same color, -1 squared times A equals y is 0.5. -1 squared is 1. 1 times A is A. So A is what? A is 0.5. If you don't like write down this way, you can say A is 0.5, like this. Now you see why I choose the point -1. You can also choose 1, 0.5. You can also choose this point. Why? Because it'll make your job easier. Of course, you can try the other 2 points. You're going to have the same solution for A. Once you got A, we're almost done. We can start to write the function rule. Function rule says this. This is my form. Y equals ax squared. You just found out A. You see y is 0.5 x squared. Now, it's time to put our solution, final answer, in the long bubble. And it's time to say, happy learning.